Hey, you crazy cats! 42's live streams and videos are simply not available on vinyl. You will have to go to the YouTubes for that. So if you want content about British traditions and culture, cutting edge social commentary from an unapologetically patriotic perspective, along with a side order of madness you simply will not find anywhere else, then this is the place for you. And to all those early adapters in the chat, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That's how you get the good stuff and make sure you never miss a tasty treat. So with that being said and done, squeeze yourself in. Let's get into it. You know you want to. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Please delete as applicable because the internet is worldwide and time zones are indeed still a thing. I'll say hello to the first chatters, and can somebody give me a little bit of a radio check, please? First in from down under, Linda Hunter. Glad to have you aboard. Budgie Burger, who tells us that Linda Hunter always makes him want to be on his best behaviour, so these might be his last words. Budgie, your behaviour is always impeccable. Really glad to have you here, and I love your comments, mate. Lee, what about you, chum? Glad to have you aboard. Brad's what about you? Willie FM Radio. Yes, welcome to Willie and anyone else who came along from Willie FM Radio hangout earlier on. This man does a nice chilled radio stream with a chilled chat. It's all good. So welcome aboard. And oh, the wonderful Emma G has arrived. Happy Valentine's, my love. Emma was saying, was it going to be lovey-dovey tonight? And probably not is the answer. Anglo-Saxon, welcome aboard. Gonna give you another mention in a moment or two whenever we're doing the shout-outs. But glad to have you aboard, brother. And that's everybody for the minute. And with that, I'll do the little bit of housekeeping. If I can. Now, tomorrow night, Sunday, I would expect Ragnar Arnspear to be on, I believe, from 8 o'clock. Actually, it might be earlier, not maybe 7 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure. I would expect him and Jack London to have a guest, and it's normally a good show. And obviously, with it being having a guest on, the content changes every week, which keeps it interesting. Robin, Courage is a Cure, Australian girl, does a show about all the current world affairs and the laws that are changing and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to keep up to date with that, Robin's your girl. She's on all sorts of social medias, and he else has arrived then. Boss has arrived then. Woof woof. The good ship 42 to smash the icebergs of globalism. We will at least give it a bloody good go. We will. We can be fluffy muffy tonight. Very nice. Right, and my other shout out, the one, the only, the Dave Waffle House show streams every night from 8:30. It's a really good chat. It's a chill out. Mostly about the show. Mostly is about stock taking beaver, all sorts of weirdness, and I'm going to present a little bit. It's also home of the Friday night duck race, the best duck race on the internet. And I've got some video footage that I want to show of what occurred just prior to last night's duck race, because there's a lot of controversy. Now, I can just get this up. Share screen. Oh, that's the one we want there. Now, this is Dave, and as you will see, he's just about ready to start the duck race. And then this happens.
See, why can't you all have tiny little names like GG? See, that's well, it all like 42. Easy, GG. See that? GG. Start that out well quick. Good. 662 ducks now. All right, good. Now it's gone fucking small again. I don't fucking know. Good. Good. This is your fault. Whoever, it's your fault, Benjamin. You can just put AI. I do put AIP for you. Yeah, I do. I do, because otherwise it'd be well long, wouldn't it? Queen speakers don't like cream. Good. Ditchards.
Ranny Ditchards, 2 super chatted $2. Ender Dave's Waffle House Valentine's Day abuse.
Stop it! No! Ditchards deserves to win this tonight. All right, look. Look, this is your fault. Look, it's all fucking glitching out like a twat. Good. No. Look, you can make everything glitch up, and if I lose this list, all right, there's going to be big fucking look, good. Super Dave.
Super Dave 44 super chatted 99 cents.
Good. 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 Thanks, Super Dave. No, I appreciate it. I do. All right, good. But you're pretty easy. SD44. SD44. See, easy, that one. It is. All right. Good. Glad it's really fun for you. I'm glad it's really fun for you. Good. Can we just do the fucking rice now? Get on with it. Good. Fuck.
Hello, can anybody hear me? Oh, fuck. Yeah, no, I fucking left it. I closed the wrong tab and left the studio instead of fucking turning off the bit about Dave Waffle. I absolutely fucked the whole thing up. Sorry, boomer. Oh, Special K, what about you? Yes. What you seen there was more ducks than on Friday in Gaza. Yeah. I was trying to show you the mad run of ducks that there was just before Dave's show, and then I fucked it up and clicked the wrong button, took myself out of the studio, but we're now all back. Yes, the digital duck races. the digital duck races. Special K, what about you, chum? And Ludwig. I'm all over the place now. For fuck, I'm all mad. I'm all over the place. Right. So anyway, yes, it was all very funny, but there could be a bit of a Stewart's inquiry because nobody knows if those late ducks were registered properly, whether or not they interfered with any other ducks in the race or anything, or what the hell went on that last load of minutes. So there you go. But yes, Friday night duck race, get yourself in there, get in the ducking race. It's really good fun. Really big shout out to Anglo-Saxon. Yes, Anglo-Saxon, really big thank you. Anglo-Saxon bought myself and Amachi ducks for the duck race. As you all know, I do not accept super chats on this channel. I don't accept. There's no way to donate to me anywhere, but you can indeed buy me a duck and I could win the ducking race. So thank you very much, Anglo, for that. And with that, now to try to get us back onto track, we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day this evening. And I think what we need is a little musical interlude, a nice romantic tune, ditty, whatever we like to call it, to get us into the mood of Valentine's Day. And I have indeed got a cracker for you. One moment, do I just get this lined up? Here we go. And this is Horse It India Cynthia.
Horse it India Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. You're the finest looking filly that I did ever see. You're the onions in me burger, you're the sugar in me tea. Horse it India Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. I saw her in the barroom in the town of Kilshima. She was sitting at the counter knocking double fudges back. She wore a low-cut Yanzi and a skirt above her knee. Says I horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. Horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. You're the finest looking filly that I did ever see. You're the onions in me burger, you're the sugar in me tea. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. I asked her, what are you having? Well, you should have heard her shout. I'll have another double vodka and another pint of stout. I'll have a bag of cheese and onion, and then I'll have a pea. So I horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. Horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. You're the finest looking filly that I have ever seen. You're the onions in me burger, you're the sugar in me tea. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. There never was a woman who could better fill a blouse. You could see her biceps bulging when she's milking my old cows. She could shovel dung for Ireland, I'm sure you'd all agree. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. Horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. You're the finest looking filly that I have ever seen. You're the onions in me burger, you're the sugar in me tea. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. We're 40 years together, and we're living on me farm. And I never have to worry about how she'll keep me warm. She still wears her low-cut Yanzi and her skirt cut above her knee. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. Horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. You're the finest looking filly that I have ever seen. You're the onions in me burger, you're the sugar in me tea. So horse it into you, Cynthia, for you're the girl for me. Horse it into you, Cynthia, or do you know you're a fine looking heifer?
There we go. That was Horse It Into You, Cynthia. Something to get you all in the mood for the night. I'm going to, yeah. there is a lot that goes on. Generally speaking, people that are like that are people who started a YouTube channel to make money. I ended up doing this by mistake. To be totally honest with you, I started off in 2012 going to my local city councillor and asking them a simple question: whether there are no shelters for male victims of domestic abuse. And somehow that has fucking ended me up here. Along the way, I've done quite a bit of stuff, done quite a lot of stuff with the men's rights movement. I still do assist men through family court and other such niceties. And generally speaking, those men have got nothing because they've been rinsed by a system. And it was a very easy decision whenever helping those people say I do not take donations. And then it was a really easy one to go, well, if I don't take donations anywhere else, I don't do it on YouTube. And it's just, this is about getting the message out, creating a community, and hopefully having a bit of fun. And the other thing is, one of the things I did along the way was I got International Men's Day conferences done with Belfast City Council. And at that point, I could have quite easily got my hands on government money, permanent government money. Basically made a job out of activism. But it would mean that my opinions would decide whether or not my wages kept happening. And I decided I did not want to do that because I would rather have my opinions than the wage or the money. And if I'm not going to take government money, I'm not going to take fucking anybody else's. But I do like the odd little duck in a duck race. Dave has been accused of being a grifter because he fucking sells a duck here and there for no reason whatsoever. If the man's a grifter, I'm his fucking chief accomplice, and go ahead and buy me a fucking duck. There you go. That's me on that. So I'm just checking through these comments. There's Pakistan. What about you, chum? Brad's in. Right. Oh, and Dawn's in from down under. Yeah. We need community. We need community more than anything else. Now. Oh, yes. All off the coffee. Right. Now we're going to get into St Valentine, and we will start with the Encyclopedia Britannica and what they're going to tell us about him. And we're then going to make a switch to history.com. I think it's quite important to see what the authoritative people are saying about things, and that is well big enough. Right. Here we go. St. Valentine from the Encyclopedia Britannica. St. Valentine died 3rd century Rome, feast day February the 14th. As I say every time, the important thing about these feast days and why there's so many of them is that was a day that the working class were not going to be doing any work. And one of the things that the church did in order to ease the lot of the working class was to create these feast days where their owners, masters, employers, whatever the fuck you want to call them in those days, were obligated to say, no, you don't work today. So it was the name of one or two legendary Christian martyrs. So there could be two St. Valentines whose lives seem to have a historical basis. Although the Roman Catholic Church continues to recognize St. Valentine as a saint, he was removed from the general Roman calendar in 1969 because of a lack of reliable information about him. By the way, you can't just run about and put saint in front of people's names and then have them understood to be a saint. There is a process that the Vatican goes through called canonization, and that turns a person into a saint. after they've passed because of their good deeds on earth. Now, interestingly, next month in March, I will be giving my yearly reminder that Patrick, the Apostle, is not a fucking saint because he never went through any of that stuff because they don't have any information about his actual life. So Valentine, they've took him out of some stuff but left him in the others. And he is the patron saint of lovers, people with epilepsy, and beekeepers. Because if you find a woman wearing all that meshy stuff in the thingy hoods, she is a keeper. By some accounts, so here we go. We're already on shady ground. St Valentine was a Roman priest and a physician who was martyred during the persecution of Christians by Emperor Claudius II, Gothius, at about 270. I don't know what the fuck CE means, but I'm going to guess it's after death. He was Common Era. Can these people please wise the fuck up? AD. Oh fuck. He was buried on Viva Flamen, and Pope Julius I reportedly built a basilica over his grave. Other narratives identify him as the Bishop of Turini, Italy, who was martyred apparently also in Rome, and whose relics were later taken to Turini. Quite a common thing with the Roman Catholic Church. They start off with a myth, legend, and then they find a person connected to their church, and then they go, that's that person, and then they make them a saint. It's a bit of the mumbo jumbo, in my humble opinion, but I was raised Church of Ireland. Oh, that reminds me. I will go back to this. Yep. Who was it? Somebody asked where I was from. And it was a newish person. Was it Swell or Lewis? Lewis BD. I believe it was you asked where I'm from. I am from East Belfast, Northern Ireland, and I am it was Lewis. East Belfast, Northern Ireland, Ulster is where I'm from. In the very working class bit. The very, very working class bit. It is possibly there are different versions of the same original account refer to only one person, which is also similar with Patrick, because there's Patrick and Patrick that came before him as well. And the man's got a couple of graves. So this is quite common with saints for there to be not cut and dried. Numerous churches around the world claim to be in possession of his relics. These include the skull on display in the glass rectory at the Basilica de Santa Maria in Costamon in Rome. A shoulder blade housed in the Basilica of SS Peter and Paul. A fucking shoulder blade. Please, could you not just bury people and take the whole person and put them in a coffin, put them in a hole in the ground and cover it with soil? Could you not do that? A fucking shoulder blade. Why do people want to go and look at a shoulder blade? Why do they pray to a shoulder blade? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Have you been watching too many fucking voodoo films? Please, don't do this shit. Sorry. That may have been a small rant. Yeah, you want a piece of me? Take the shoulder blade. What the fuck? It's up there along with 28 years later. If you're hungry, have a bit of your friend. What the fuck? Please, don't do this shit. After having been discovered in the church's basement in 2002, a vessel tinged with his blood, in addition to sundry other artifacts at the Waitford Church Street in Dublin, and relics kept inside a wax effigy of the saint situated in the front of the altar of St Ferdinand's Shrine of Furness. How the fuck's he ever getting back to the other side? There's bits of him everywhere. According to legend, St Valentine signed a letter from your Valentine to his jailer's daughter, whom he had befriended and healed from blindness. Another common legend states that he defied the emperor's orders and secretly married couples to spare the husbands from being conscripted to serve in the war. It's as good a reason to get married as any. Right. Valentine's Day is a lovers' festival. Dates at least from the 14th century. The tradition of giving cards on Valentine began in the 18th century. So there you go. That is the outline on St. Valentine, who he was. And now we're going to have a look at the history of the day itself and also why it is important. We can have a discussion about that, about what makes it important. How long are we going? We're 26 minutes in. Okay. Present. The knuckle from my little finger could cure cancer if it was a relic. It's going back. Oh, fuck. Uncle Skim, what about you, chum? Welcome aboard to the madness. I'm just checking through the comments as well here. Oh. Valentine's Day 69 takes place, right. Think it might be based on Adam's rib. Yeah. Is that where Adam asked God what they need to give you for a good woman? For a good woman, and he said an arm and a leg, and he asked him, God, what can we get for a rib? Is that it? I don't know. Right. No. Valentine's Day. Here we go. And this is coming from history.com. Right. Valentine's Day is a holiday celebrated on February the 14th. This year, Valentine's Day falls on a Friday across the United States and other places. Right. I don't know what the fuck year this was written in, so you can scrub that Friday, but that's got the fact that our calendar is not the way it should be, with 13 months of 28 days and everything falls the same. Heaven forbid we be fucking organized with our dates. So that changes every year. Across the United States and in other places around the world, candy, flowers, and gifts are exchanged between loved ones, all in the name of St. Valentine. But here's this mysterious saint. Where did these traditions come from? Find out about the meaning and history of Valentine's Day from the ancient Roman ritual of Lupercina that welcomed spring to the card-giving customs of Victorian England. And yes, this whole card-giving malarkey is an English invention, and mostly came about because they also invented the penny stamp that allowed you to have written documents transported safely from one place to another for an extremely low fee. And without that, none of this card giving would have ever been possible. So with that, I'm going to have a quick check at the comments. I need to get some liquid on board. Well, the cards that all the girls got whenever they were children, young ladies, and whatever. Us men don't seem to do just quite so well with the card department. Right. Valentine's Day. The history of Valentine's Day and the story of its patron saint is shrouded in mystery. We already learnt that. We do know that February has long been celebrated as a month of romance, and that St Valentine's Day, as we know it today, contains vestiges of both Christian and ancient Roman traditions, as do all of our traditions. Whenever we're starting to look at this, we see that they are the culmination of many things, and they have evolved into the tradition they are today, which would tell us, which would indicate that those traditions are going to be different in future unless we do something to stop the changes. If we want the whole society back, or even put it back to a more traditional society, we need to start with every aspect and at least hold that where it is and not let it become any more bastardized. And I mean that in the true sense of the word, in that they inject other things into our traditions and take them away from their original conceptions, and they are no longer pure. But who was St. Valentine, and how did it become associated with this ancient rite? The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different saints named Valentine or Valentinus, all of whom were martyred. One legend contains that Valentine was a priest who served during the 3rd century in Rome when the Emperor Claudius decided that single men made better soldiers than those with wives and families. He outlawed marriages for young men. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied
Valentine's Day, a holiday with ancient roots, where messages of love are sent. And the first Valentine card in history?
Thank you. So we outlawed marriage of young men. I think that means he outlawed marriage because it would have been quite hard for the women to get married without men to marry. It's kind of like it's a required element that there be a bride and a groom. Valentine, realizing the injustice of the decree, defied Claudius and continued to perform marriages for young lovers in secret. When Valentine's actions were discovered, Claudius ordered him to be put to death. Still, others insist that it was St. Valentine of Tournai, a bishop who was a true namesake of the holiday. He too was beheaded by Claudius II outside Rome. And this is where we begin to get into the notion of branding and brand recognition and all of that type of stuff. Because what these people that created St. Valentine's Day have done is they've come up with the idea and then they've went shopping for a saint or a story to hang it all on, basically. Others, and that's why there are different versions. And the other thing is, this also comes down to people thinking they know stuff, because you'll have somebody in one place says this is the reason why it's called Valentine's Day, and then that story gets common to that area, and before you know it, all those people think that theirs is the only story, and that's how you end up with 2 or 3 competing versions of the genesis of any story. Others suggest that Valentine may have been killed for attempting to help Christians escape harsh Roman prisons, where they were often beaten and tortured. According to one legend, an imprisoned Valentine actually sent the first Valentine greeting himself after he fell in love with a young girl, possibly his jailer's daughter, who visited him during confinement. Before death, it is alleged that he wrote the letter from your Valentine, an expression that is still used today. Although the truth behind Valentine legend is murky, Very fucking murky. Come to the Catholic Church. The stories all epitomise his appeal and sympathetic, heroic, and most importantly, romantic figure. By the Middle Ages, perhaps thanks to his reputation, Valentine would become one of the most popular saints in England and France. Right. Now we're going to have a look at the pagan festival. And before that, I'm going to have a look at the comments and see what you're all saying. Oh, we will get to we will be getting the diamonds. And by the way, Willie, they are neither rare nor expensive. And M&G gets a card every year, all seeing auto. Yes, we do that. M&G and I were out for really nice hamburgers earlier on in the week because we unfortunately could not be together on the day, but we have to work around these things. That's just how it is. But we did have a nice thing. Thank you. Right. A pagan festival. While some believe that Valentine's Day is celebrated in the middle of February to commemorate the anniversary of Valentine's death or burial, which probably occurred around, pick a date, any date. Others claim that the Christian Church may have decided to place some Valentine's feast day in the middle of February in an effort to Christianize the pagan festival of Lupercalia, whatever the fuck that word is, celebrated at the Ides of February or February 15th. Lupercalia was a fertility festival dedicated to Faunus, the Roman god of agriculture. You'll find that in Britain, our pagan festival was a little bit earlier than February the 15th. So you'll find that right across Europe, there are pagan festivals that have similarities but are a couple of days out or a couple of weeks out or whatever. Probably something to do with the fact that the further north you go, the later the slightly better weather comes and the later the onset of spring. Which makes it strange that the British one was a bit earlier. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that we were talking about a fertility festival last week. Or the week before. Right. Celebrate the ideas of February. On February 15th, was the Roman god of agriculture, as well as the Roman founders, Romulus and Remus. To begin the festival, members of the Luperci, an order of Roman priests, would gather at a sacred cave where the influence Romulus and Remus, the founders of Rome, were believed to have been cared for by a she-wolf or a lupa. Interestingly, there is another story of a civilization that started with two infants raised by a wolf that predates the Roman one. And we're not sure if Romulus and Remus, the first Romans, that's the first telling of that story. The priest would sacrifice a goat for fertility, and a dog for purification. Yeah, because you get a nice, friendly, wholesome animal that is pure and just loves and fucking kill. If your god needs you to kill dogs, you need a new god. My opinion. Other people may have different opinions, but no. They would then strip the goat's hide into strips, drip them into a sacrificial blood, and take to the streets, gently slapping both women and crop fields with the goat head. Yes, so you get this goat head and you dip it in blood and then you walk about walloping whatever women are about and also the crops in the fields because you want to make them both fertile. Far from being fearful, Roman women welcomed the touch of the heads because it was believed to make them more fertile in the coming year. Later in the day, according to the legend, all the young women in the city would place their names in a big urn. The city's bachelors would each choose a name and become paired for a year with his chosen woman, which also is similar to the hand tan customs that we would have in Embriac and May Day, where two people would have a bit of string tied around both their hands and they would be paired off for a year and a day. The importance of it being more than a year is that this, if a woman does that and things don't work out and the man goes away, she's not going to do the same thing at that same festival next year because she's still betrothed whenever that festival happens. So there's going to be at least another year before there's another child pop out. These matches often ended in marriage and often ended in not marriage and a good shag in the fields. That's what it ended in. Now, romance and love. And with that, I think I probably should go have a look at the comments. Hello, Sheila. Glad to have you here. Oh, what has happened? Okay. Well, that's only because I have not seen you since the day, and I believe you shall have the card on Monday whenever I see you. So there, I actually did purchase the card, and it's here, and I did the writing on it and all. You just don't totally have it at the moment. So there you go. Now you all know the secret's out. Right. Right. So here we go. Valentine's Day, and romance and love. Lupercalia survived the initial rise of Christianity, but was outlawed as it was deemed unchristian. What? The walking about slapping women with bits of meat dripped in blood was decreed unchristian. Who would have fucking thunk it? At the end of the 5th century, when Pope Gellius declared February 14th St Valentine's Day, it was not until much later, however, that the day became definitively associated with love. During the Middle Ages, it was commonly believed in France and England that February 14th was the beginning of the birds' mating system, which added to the idea that the middle of Valentine's Day should be a day for romance. The English poet Geoffrey Chaucer was the first to record St. Valentine's Day as a day of romantic celebration in his 1375 poem, Parliament of Fowls, writing, For this was season on St. Valentine's Day, when every fowl cometh there to choose his mate. Now, what's really interesting then, this is 1375, and we're writing poems about Valentine's Day, and we're including this word, a parliament of fowls, and a parliament to mean a collection of people or items. So this is not only talking about St Valentines Day and romance. It's also incorporating the changes that are happening in the English nation, where we're heading towards the democracy of Parliament that we want. I can't remember off the top of my head the date for the Magna Carta, but this is when we were getting engaged in Valentine's poetry, which shows actually how advanced our civilization always was. Because I think other people were still getting the grips with making bricks instead of mud huts at that stage, but I digress. Valentine greetings were popular as far back as the Middle Ages, though written Valentines didn't begin to appear until after the 1400s. The oldest known Valentine still in existence today was a poem written in 1415 by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife while she was imprisoned in the Tower of London, following his capture in the Battle of Agincourt. The greeting is now part of a manuscript collection in the British Library in London, England. That might actually be worth having a look at. And also brings us into the Battle of Agincourt. Anyway, several years later, it is believed that King Henry V hired a writer named John Lennon to compose a Valentine note to Catherine of Fourless. Now, let us check the chat. What have I missed? And what are these numbers about? Right, I don't know. I have no idea why you are typing numbers. I do like the ducks. What the fuck? This is why I'm single. Because I keep going around beating bandies with severed goat's heads. I think that would make you a catch, Brad. I do. I think anybody's doing that is a fucking catch. And the Thunderbirds are go. Where the fuck are we? Right. Cupid is often portrayed on Valentine's Day cards as a naked cherub launching arrows of love at unsuspecting lovers. But the Roman god Cupid has his roots in Greek mythology as a Greek god of love, Eros. Accounts of his birth vary. Some say he is a son of Nexus and Eros, others of Aphrodite and Ares, and still others suggest he was the son of Ares and Hippolytus, and even Aphrodite and Zeus, who would have been both his father and grandfather. It turns out that the lineage of these Greek gods is a little bit confusing. According to the Greek Alaric prophets, Eros was a handsome, immortal. Played with the emotions of gods and men, using golden arrows to incite love and leaden ones to sow aversion. So Cupid had both arrows. He golden ones to make you fall in love, and he had lead ones to make you dislike the person. And he could be an absolute cunt and give one person a gold one to make them like one person, and the other person a lead one to make them dislike the person who just made like them. If he wanted to be a cunt, he could be an absolute total another cunt. And that's who Cupid is. It wasn't until the Hellenistic period that he began to be portrayed as a mischievous, chubby child who'd become on Valentine's Day cards. Valentine's Day greetings and gifts. In addition to the United States, Valentine's Day is celebrated in Canada, Mexico, United Kingdom, France, and Austria. In Great Britain, Valentine's Day began to be popularly celebrated around the 17th century. By the middle of the 18th century, it was common for friends and lovers of all social classes to exchange small tokens of affection or handwritten notes. And by 1900, printed cards began to replace written letters due to improvements in printing technology. So this is part of the Industrial Revolution, where we made goods of a quality standard for the masses to allow them to take part in things like this. So in order for this to take off, you need a few things going on. You need the printing press. You need the printing presses not only to be up and running, but be there for mass communication. Not to print a book here and there, but to be fucking fully rolling and changeable, because these cards weren't going to be the same cards we're selling all year round. It required the ability to produce the cardboard. It required the ability to package it and get everything off. And then it also required the postal service in order to send all these cards. So this is plus the nation of shopkeepers to sell the stuff. All these elements need to come together to make this possible. And a big part of the reason why we have the participation of the populace that we have in this is because they're suddenly able to do things that was previously the preserve of fucking kings. The idea that you could easily get a letter taken to a person without anybody knowing what was in it or who it came from or any of that stuff. You had to be a king or a fucking duke or somebody of real importance or somebody really low that was running a crime syndicate or whatever to have that level of ability. And then the postal service come in and made it possible, along with all the industrialization. And that's how we have the mass participation. And what makes Valentine's Day important, quite apart from anything else, is the mass participation of the people. The fact that the people got involved and did it, that's what makes it important. Because you've read about the saint, you've heard about the saint, you've heard about Cupid. There's nothing special there. There's nothing that means you need to take any action. But somebody created the ability to take the action, and the public got on board, and that's what makes it socially important. Anyway. By 1900, printing cards began to replace written letters due to improvements in printing technology. Ready-made cards were an easy way for people to express their emotions in a time when direct expression of one's feelings was discouraged. Stiff upper lip and all of that. Cheaper postage rates also contributed to an increase in the popularity of sending Valentine's Day greetings. Americans probably began exchanging handmade Valentines in the early 1700s. In the 1840s, Esther A. Howard began selling the first mass-produced Valentines in America. Holland, known as the Mother Valentine, made elaborate creations with real lace, ribbons, and colourful pictures known as scrap, similar to what you would have in your scrapbook and Tinker Art and all of that type of thing. Today, according to Hallmark, an estimated 145 million Valentine's Day cards are sent each year, making Valentine's Day the second largest card sending holiday of the year. Obviously, the larger one being Christmas. Now, I am going to get into some of this other stuff, but I think we will have a nice little musical interlude at this point. And since it's Valentine's Day, I think I can come up with another song. Right, okay. This may or may not be the right song. This was a lot easier to find before, for sure. If we don't get the song, I will. Oh, yep. Yep, here we go. Right, people, we've got a major issue. My laptop is not charging. It said that it was, and it's not. And this whole thing's about to go because there's no electric and there's no juice in the fucker. And I can't get my charger to work. So if this goes black in a few minutes, you'll know that's what it is. And in the meantime, I'm trying to get this sorted. Oh, fuck. And apart from anything else, that also means that I ain't going to have a computer working for the rest of the night, which is a fucking nightmare. Uh, yep. Every Saturday night at 10:30, Lewis, I do this. The charger, to be fair, I knew that it wasn't looking brilliant, but it has just fucking totally died this evening. And that is not fucking coming on. People, what I'm going to do, I'm really sorry about this, but I'm going to have to call this. I'm going to play an outro, and I will be back next week with a working charger. I'm going to have to source one of those tomorrow. And what I'm going to do is, hopefully, if we can get through this, I will play the Anglo-Saxon. And I need to take this down.